Now let's get you the very latest that's coming in from Bengal. I'm given to understand that there is some bit of action and activity from where Shravan is reporting. This is Bhangar in West Bengal. And today, ladies and gentlemen, it's the counting of the Panchayat polls where the TMC has picked up a significant lead. But even today, Shravan, what we see is violence that still continues, and it's pretty normal, it seems.
Well, in fact, Deepthi, if I get into the overall picture, before I do that, let me just give you a quick sense of where we are broadcasting from and why exactly are we doing it from this very spot where you can see there has been a substantial amount of deployment that has essentially been done. This was the very place on 15th of June when there were violent clashes that took place between workers of the Trinamool Congress and the ISF. That's a newly floated political party. Now, what's important to point here is the fact that Deepthi, the clashes that took place on the 15th actually saw 3 deaths. This was at a time where the nomination was being filed. We are broadcasting from Bhangar. This is considered to be a sensitive area. In fact, where we are broadcasting right now from, there are 2 blocks. We are looking at Bhangar 1 and Bhangar 2. In fact, what you can see is that there is a deployment that has been done by the West Bengal police. Apart from that, inside the polling center, if I can just ask my camera person to give you a sense of just a quick sense of a little bit inside the counting center. Now, this entire area, the school has been divided into multiple areas. We are being told at least 30 Gram Panchayat ballot boxes have already been opened up is what we are being told. As of now, the lead's not really coming in. But remember, of Bhangar 2 itself, in one block itself, about 18 seats. Of the 18 seats, 12 have already gone uncontested, which would mean that the Trinamool Congress already has a winning candidate. Remember, this is the very aspect that the opposition has basically been targeting the Trinamool Congress by simply saying that candidates were not allowed to file their nominations. That's one of the key allegations that has been leveled against the Trinamool Congress. What's the situation like here in Bhangar? As of now, as we speak, it appears to be a little normal. We haven't really heard the kind of explosions that we heard a short while back, where about 3 explosions were heard since morning. No clashes as of now being reported. The area still remains a little tense because once the leads basically come in, I'll ask our video journalist to stay with these visuals. Now, as the leads basically come in, that's when the clear picture will emerge. And largely, the areas that we have basically travelled in the Gram Panchayat areas, we've essentially seen it's completely divided between the ISF workers and the Trinamool Congress. The bombs that were went off it was not very far away. In fact, in our previous broadcast, while we were on with our broadcast, that was the time when the explosions were actually heard. So that very allegation of crude bombs being hurled is very much alive, and that has happened while we were broadcasting. So remember, that's one aspect that remains unresolved at this point in time. How would the situation really pan out in the hours to come? Remember, that would only totally depend on the kind of deployment that has essentially been done here, and only after the leads basically come in, you would actually get a clear picture. Right now, pretty much there is a mix of the West Bengal police right now with the rapid action force. You also have Punjab police that has been brought in. Remember, that's part of the CAPF deployment that has actually taken place. And of course, you also have the paramilitary which is inside the counting center. The State Election Commission has basically assured that every polling center the counting center, I beg your pardon, would essentially have at least one company of the paramilitary force, and that's going to be important. Now, just a quick roundup of what we know so far before we slip into a short break. Yes, there have been violent clashes that have been reported, especially from Howrah and also from Murshidabad. In fact, we are also given to understand that polling agents of the Bharatiya Janata Party were actually attacked in Howrah. Similar clashes have been reported from Kuch Bihar too. These are reports that are basically coming in right now. Of course, nothing compared to what we really saw on the day when the polling actually took place. A total of over 40 deaths have already taken place from the very time the elections were announced.